This is really a very old story, but it needs to be told again and remembered. A life full of love and happiness and a loving family is very important to all of us. I only wish it were fiction. She was dying. Her days were numbered. After a 3-year battle with cancer, she was at the end of her fight. Our 4 children, our oldest son Paul, age 40, his wife Joan, age 36, with their 3 children. Our oldest daughter Patricia, 37, her husband George, 39, with 4 children. Our youngest son Alfred and his significant other Seymour, both 33 years old. Our baby girl Rachel, 30 years old, and her husbands James, 32, and Ralph, 28, with 2 children. Rachel was always my favorite. She looked just like her mom. Same cheeky smile, same eyes. I had to work overtime at the Ford plant to buy her the prom dress she wanted and a new coat to wear over the dress. Shoes weren't cheap either, and the beauty parlor cost almost $50. She looked exactly like Martha when she left the house with her beau. We were all prepared for this news, but it still hit us hard. She was finally going to die. We hugged each other and cried. Dr. Johnson wished to meet with me privately. We walked into the tiny office and sat down. She had known for 3 days. She asked to be told first, before the family. I did so. She also asked that, since she could no longer write, a letter be left for you. Only the person who wrote down what she said and your wife know the contents of this letter. He handed me a sealed envelope. He was waiting in case I needed help. We were married in our church 45 years ago. A young priest married us. It's been a good life. 4 children. Everyone is happy with the life they've chosen. My wife will be 65 in 2 days. I fell in love with her from the moment I first saw her on her knees in church. Later, I saw her again as she was coming out of the confessional. I walked her home. We started dating and were soon married. Before we were married, she told me she was not a virgin. Her priest insisted she tell me that, but only that. I knew nothing about her previous encounters with anyone. I loved her. I knew she loved me, and we would love each other forever. It wasn't easy for us. Money problems. Alfred was gay. Rachel needed 2 men to be happy. We fought and cried, and somehow now we were together. I opened the envelope. There was only 1 page. It was handwritten by someone with very good handwriting. Max, please forgive me. The priest was here for last rites. I confessed my sins. He said I had to tell you so you could forgive me and I could go to heaven. I had lovers during our marriage. 21 lovers. I don't remember all the names, but the priest said it didn't matter. All the children were not yours. They were all children by one of the men I met when I was able to slip away for a few minutes. I'm sorry we didn't have a child of our own, but it seems you were busy on the days when I was most fertile. Last year I had a DNA test done just in case. I think Paul is your brother's child. Alfred, I'm sure, belongs to your old boss, Raymond. Rachel could be Rob Henderson's. I have no idea who Patricia's father was. There were so many at the time. You were such a good father, working overtime to pay for college, suspenders, and prom dresses. The sex was so good that I wanted everything I could get. I also needed a loving husband, and I chose you. You were the best husband a woman could have. You were there for the kids. You were such a wonderful father. You even changed more diapers than I did, and all those night feedings when I was tired. I was so glad you became my husband. I know it's a shock, but everyone knows about it. The kids were told when they graduated from college. My family and your family knew. I told them you approved and you didn't want to talk about it. None of them ever told you about it. They were really wonderful people. I will say that Rachel hated me for years after I told her, but she eventually got 2 husbands and learned what a lot of good sex meant. No one ever ruined our happiness or our marriage by telling you. It made me feel so good. I really want your forgiveness. It will make it easier for me to get to heaven. The priest gave me this penance to confess to you. I'm doing it. Now I can go to my God in peace, your loving wife, Martha. Code red is sounded, but we were too late. I pronounced him dead in the small office. The heart that had been so strong all those years just stopped. We couldn't start it up again. I put the message in my pocket. She asked that only he knew about it. I read it and decided I hadn't read it. I burned it. I really believed he knew. Everyone believed he knew, and no one told him for 45 years. He had a happy marriage and a very good life. 5 days later, they were buried together. May they rest in peace, Dr. Johnson. Doctor,